Okay, so now moving on to kind of the SAE type of topic that, if you remember, we covered shortly after the FFA and leadership unit in Animal 1. We're going to do the same thing here in Animal 2, but we're going to look at it from a slightly different perspective. So how you actually go about choosing a career. You're obviously further along in your high school career at this point, so that is why we look at this now. So some factors to consider. You want to make sure that the standard of living is up to what you want and what you're comfortable with. This would include things like how much are you going to get paid, where are you going to work, all things like that. Personal contact. If you're a people person, you probably want to work with people. If you're not a people person, you probably want to work with not people, more like things. Also educational requirements and how much education are you willing and able to get versus what is required of the job. You also have to look into practical experiences or different skills that are required. You have to look into the location of employment. If the job is at the beach, but you prefer the mountains, you may not want to look at that career. Your interests, your likes and your dislikes, making sure that you are actually going to enjoy your career. What a novel concept. And also working conditions. Are you outside a lot? Are you in an office? What are the working conditions like? You also want to make sure that the working hours are conducive to how you like to live your life. So making sure that you have time for leisure activities and things that you enjoy. Retirement benefits. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal now, but trust me, the sooner you start saving for retirement, the better. And of course, your health and happiness too. If you're going to be really stressed out by a job, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to go for that job. Alright, so steps in choosing your career. First things first, you have to look at yourself. So you have to consider your interests, what you enjoy, your abilities, and other characteristics. Really, that's first thing. Then you narrow the field of jobs. And you kind of say, alright, well, based on what I like and what I'm doing, this would work well for me. Then you want to study the requirements of all the different jobs you've narrowed it down to. And be sure that you're getting good information. Go talk to people that are already working in that career, or look up some solid statistics online, but make sure you're not getting your information from Wikipedia. Make sure it's coming from a reliable source. You also want to make sure that you plan for alternative occupations. Trust me, I am Exhibit A. The first choice might not work out. My first choice, I was dead set. I was going to vet school. It's been that way since I was, in 6th grade. And I got to college and had a moment of clarity and was like, oh wait, I don't actually want to do this. So, at that point, I finished out my major in animal science, but I didn't really know where to go from there. So, make sure that you're planning for alternative occupations. My alternative occupation didn't show up for about 3 years until after I graduated. So, a little bit of lag time there. Please ignore the dogs. You also want to prepare a plan for career preparation. Okay, so you want to make sure that if you know what you want to do right now, you can make sure that you take the right courses in high school in addition to college to get you where you want to go. So if you are one of my students that are going for vet school, and that is your plan, taking this course is a good step, solid step. Vet assisting would be the next step, and then you're kind of on your way. You want to be willing to pay the price for success and do what you need to do to reach your goal. Alright, so making sure that you're getting the proper education. If we're talking about vet school here, that means that you are solid in high school, you're solid through your undergrad, and then you're on to 4 years of vet school. So that's 8 years of schooling after high school. So you want to make sure that you're willing to get the education and you're dedicated to it and doing a good job at it. And then you also want to get work experience. Obviously, the great way to do that is with the SAE via exploratory experiences or placement experiences. There's also co-ops or internships or part-time jobs. Any of those, if you can go ahead and get into one of those early on and go ahead and start exploring the industry that you're into and you're interested in, the better it's going to be for you. Ultimately, what this all boils down to is choosing the right SAE program to gain the knowledge and work experiences that you want. All right, so placement is where you're actually working for someone else. Exploratory is where you're shadowing someone. So if you go to a vet clinic and you follow a vet around for a day, that would be exploratory. Entrepreneurship is where you're running your own business. So you're raising chickens, they're producing eggs, you're selling your eggs at the farmer's market, for example. Experimental, where you're actually performing an agricultural experiment. Or improvement, where you are improving something in some way, shape, or form. And maybe your parents have a fence that needs fixing in the backyard or something. That would be an improvement SAE. Things to remember. So career development plans, this is kind of your SAE pathway, or sorry, not SAE pathway, CTE pathway, which animal science is included in. And that really is a way in which you can reach your career goals and go ahead and get started on it in high school. And this includes requirements like the necessary courses that you need in high school to make sure that your college experience is good. Major thing to keep in mind, though, for a school-to-work plan to be effective, it has to be implemented. So you actually have to do it in order for it to be effective. Just having a plan won't get you anywhere. That is it for this one. The next two are all about the financial record section, assets, liabilities, and such. Thank you. Please, of course, let me know if you have any questions.